Okay guys, doing a quick video on this Pepakura design file viewer. Here's the top of the page so you know you're at the right spot. There's the address. I'll go ahead and link that address on Facebook for you. Basically what this is a 3D modeling imager. You can view files designed by other people. The viewer is free. Now if you want to start designing your own files, that's a whole nother thing, and I know very little about it. But if you look here, here's the button at the very bottom of the page, as far down as you can scroll. Click on that, go from there. Once again, the URL for this will be in the comments section. This is a sample page that I'm working on. The page, whenever you open up a file, originally whenever you open it up, it'll be blank. The entire screen will just be blank. So over here you can see the little red line slashing off on the right hand side. And then this is what the files will create when everything's cut out and glued together. For those of you who don't know, this is the head mask from the original Stargate movie and Stargate SG-1 series for the Horus Jaffa guards. Got a real simple toolbar up here. There's not a whole lot in this. Obviously, to open a file, just click on the file opening. I'm not really sure what set material to faces does. Color flaps with neighboring faces is kind of, once you get into how the files work, you'll understand what that means a little better. Show Edge ID is a button you want to make sure is clicked. There it is. The other button that's really important here is this one, Properties. Now you'll do that and it'll open up a little window here with room for the author and comments. In the comments section, you'll usually find on most of these, this one, all of his comments were on the website I found these particular files from. But normally it'll have the author's name, whoever designed it, sometimes usually just a screen name. And then in the comments section will be different things like what size paper you need to print everything out on. So we go from there. Now just so you can see, all you have to do to move the 3D image around is put your mouse on any point, left click and hold, and you can see I'm moving the mouse, and as the cursor moves, so does the image. It's a really great feature on that. Now over here is the individual page numbers. They'll usually start with 1 and move on from there. Now these red lines you see going, if you look carefully, this red line shows that this edge connects to this piece, to this edge. Now if you want to see where that piece is on the 3D as a whole, click on it and look at that. There's where that piece is, and it even kind of shows how the folds work. So you can kind of get an idea of where each piece goes. If you're working on an area of this project, or any project for that matter, if let's say I'm working right here and I want to know where that piece is, click on it and it'll show over here, surrounded in red, where the piece is. Otherwise, that's pretty much it as far as the viewer. Now, whenever you go to print, you'll click print, it'll bring it up. Here's my printer. Properties. This is very important. Click your properties button, and I would do this for almost every page just to make sure. Right down here, plain paper size, or printer paper size. This will show what size paper your printer is set to print on. Now remember, this little button up here will tell us normally what size paper you need, or make sure and read the page very carefully for any notes that may be in there. Also, it'll tell you on the orientation sometimes if it needs to be a portrait or a landscape. Number of copies, we only want one of these. So there we go. Now I've already got all the pages printed, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK though, so you can see something here. Now this page will come up and it says the size of paper specified by the designer is not the same as the printer setting. I just showed you how to go in and do your printer setting changes. Now this will say adjust to scale. Now this one on the website, the notes specifically said just leave it at 8.5 by 11 paper. And whenever it asks to adjust scale, click no. So in this case, we're going to click no. It's going to start printing. I've already printed, so I'm going to cancel that out. Now, just to give you guys an idea of what these pages look like, it's this. It's not going to show up real well. My camera won't focus, but that's a number. That number is actually 625. 625, the flat will always have to have a corresponding tab. This is the tab area that it lines up to. Now, it's really hard to tell here because my camera just doesn't want to focus right. But you have dashed lines, which is dashes, and then from time to time you're going to have lines with dash and a dot, dash dot, like this one. Now, a dash dot line is a valley fold. Now, what a valley fold is this. That line indicates a valley fold. Valley fold is whenever you take a paper. Let's say this is our line right there. So that would mean on that line, you would want to fold it this way, creating a valley. Now the dotted, the just dashed, the standard dashed lines, it's hard to do this with a camera while holding it, would be like this. And that indicates a mountain fold. Like that, thus creating a mountain. So you have a mountain and a valley fold right there. That's what that means. Now when I'm cutting these out, I like to use, there's two tools I use aside from just glue. The glue I use is this stuff here. It's just Elmer's wood glue. I'm not even sure that any of the original wood glue is in it. I actually refill it from this end here. This is the fatter end for the distribution. But this end up here has a very, very fine tip. I bought this just at a Home Depot. I think Walmart might carry it. You might find the same glue pen design at craft and hobby stores even. So from here, all you're going to do is take an X-Acto knife. And if you're not sure what an X-Acto knife is, it's this guy. You can get them at craft stores, hobby stores, Home Depot, some tool outlets, Walmart, Kmart, places like that. Anywhere that's going to sell craft supplies or tools and hardware. And just cut out on the lines. Now the reason I use this instead of scissors is because scissors you might accidentally overcut. And as you can tell, this is a pretty narrow area. You don't want to overcut into the meat of this gray area, because it can really cause some problems. Now, let's see if I can find those pages. See, I've got tons of pages here for these viewers. Here we go. This, I know it's not going to be really easy to tell, but you can kind of tell that some of these lines just break up in odd places. You know, like there wouldn't be there'll always be a continuous line to show you where to cut, but here there's not. Now this was a logic error in the program. This happens from time to time. All you have to do to fix that, if you see that happen, first double check that your paper is being printed on the right size and scale for your printer. If not, just close out the program. Whoop, camera fault. Just close out the program and open it back up and restart it. Camera's acting up. Otherwise, guys, the only real big thing you want to keep in mind is to don't just use, plain old printer paper. Actually use cardstock when you print this stuff out. And this is kind of what some of the pieces will look like. You can see all the numbers, and just make sure your numbers match up, your tabs go underneath, and your valley and mountain folds are correct. I found a couple of these where the mountain valley folds were very, very minor, and in other cases they're very extreme whenever you go to add them in. Like in this area here, there were some very extreme folds where it actually broke past a 90-degree plane, became less than a 90-degree plane. Otherwise, that's it. I hope you guys have fun with it. Like I said, this will give you a little bit of advice on this. I've run into a couple problems, like I said, with those odd printings. And I hope this helps. Because this is what you can wind up with. This is a very, very large piece that otherwise trying to build this by hand would take months. And this is maybe... Camera keeps acting up. This whole piece here is maybe 8 hours. 8-9 hours of work. So you can tell it moves pretty quickly. You just got to be careful to follow your lines and cuts and folds and glue everything down correctly. Another little tool that I picked up that I found very handy is this guy. These are soldering tweezers. You can get them at electronic stores. I think I got these at Radio Shack for like $3. But you can tell they just automatically close when sitting. So you can actually use them as a very fine-tuned clamp. And then also I'll fold my pieces on this. I'll actually set this on the line and fold over the edge of it. So otherwise that's it. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.